it down, I'll feel you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
Hello and welcome to the Shit Show, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight, and hopefully we'll have a really good show. We're all fired up because some good shit has been released this week. So much of it. Hopefully we can talk about some of it. Let's see who's here real quick. Hungar, hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. Six Nations, 31 Kings, thank you. And Orange Hat's here, but he's sitting on the panel with us. And let's see, Bruce is on the panel with us tonight. And Soy-based Jeremy, hello. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we can get started. But we're going to start with Bruce because he's got some things he says he wants to.
I'm still putting together the stream for Rumble here. Just give me a moment. I'm pushing in the custom RTMP server URL. And now we're going to the stream key. All right, kids, the boomers are moving.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about the other day. The first thing that was released was the transcripts for the Ghislaine Maxwell case, the trial. And when they released it, I went to a space and I spent hours in it. And what they had done was take stacks of the information and upload it into ChatGPT. I hope I'm saying that right. And then they would ask that program to different questions, like different names, like was Oprah Winfrey on there and stuff like that. Was a lot of them didn't understand it. It wasn't a list. It was basically the transcripts from the trial, and a few of the victims that were used in the trial to convict Ghislaine. I think that's how you say her name.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell. They gave them numbers like 103 because they were underage at the time of the assaults on the island. So, but everyone else was named. I mean, there was like Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. I'm trying to think of a few others. Al Gore was mentioned. Now, I don't know the part that I listened to. I don't know what he did, but he had photographs with some of the girls. So I know that. But guess who else? I was shocked when I heard about him.
Who?
Was David Copperfield.
David Copperfield?
Yep. David Copperfield was named in the trial as being on the island with some of the girls. So I'll have to dig in deeper, but it broke my heart because I have autographed pictures from him because I've gone to his shows. So I think we're all going to be a little bit surprised by some of these names. But, I'm not expecting full disclosure, if you know what I mean. I think they're going to cover up some of the information. What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to black some names out?
They just released a third batch of information here. I pumped that into the private chat. I cannot share right now because StreamYard and Rumble just can't shake hands. I don't know WTF what's going on. But
I'm going to bring that up. Just give me 1 second. Oh, I'm so sucky at this. Okay, here we go. This is it, right?
Yep.
Now, do you want me to just scroll down it, or do you want me to
I can.
Oh, you can do it.
I can present it. The reason why I'm not sharing my stream tonight is that, or my camera. I really want to. After I get done with this, I'm going to put my feet up for a minute because I haven't been on my feet all day, and I just went.
Good. You should.
Anyway, Third round of documents from a lawsuit connected to Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted pedophile who died in jail mysteriously and possibly may still be alive, according to some, before he could face trial on federal sex trafficking charges, was publicly released Friday. Friday's release follows hundreds of pages of documents already unsealed on Wednesday and Thursday, with more expected. The unsealed documents are part of a 2015 civil defamation suit brought by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, American woman who claimed Epstein sexually abused her as a minor and that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, aided in the abuse. The unsealing this week stems from a December 18th court order from the judge overseeing the lawsuit, a response to the media's legal efforts to publicly release the documents. Meanwhile, numerous people involved with the elites, including the mainstream media, are trying their best to ignore or sweep this under the rug. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Documents in total include material yet to be unsealed, are expected to include nearly 200 names, including some of Epstein's accusers, prominent business people, politicians, and potentially more. Oh, fuck. CNN's reviewing the documents. You get opinion and news with this reading here. I want the video. I want the video. That Epstein son of a bitch had more fucking cable and wiring in his place to get more footage than a fucking adult bookstore at a Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Trump was mentioned, but it was pointed out that the only interaction he had with Epstein was that Epstein came to Mar-a-Lago, they talked, and then after leaving, Trump banned him from Mar-a-Lago because he knew that he was a sick freak.
Well, it wasn't just that. I think there's more to it. Epstein supposedly groped one of his employees, and that's why Trump banned him. But let me tell you what came out with the transcripts, Soy-based Jeremy, before Bruce goes on. The DA said that Trump was the only one out of all the people that they asked to talk to before the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Ghislaine. God, she has a weird name.
That sounds like a terrible name.
But
what's your name?
But before that, they asked Trump, if he wanted to help or if asked him questions, and he was willing to help. And he also offered to pay for some of the girls who didn't have enough money to pay for lawyers and stuff to help them be able to
get their dignity back.
Yeah, get up there and tell their story to get her put in prison because they wanted her in prison. And he offered to pay their law fees. So Trump has cleared himself over and over again, and there's plenty of documentation to prove that. So I'm really happy with that. But what I said earlier is I was really surprised when they mentioned David Copperfield. Okay, I'll shut up now. Go ahead, Bruce.
All right. Well, a former Epstein employee recounted a litany of famous and influential people, including 2 former presidents in Epstein's orbit during a 2009 deposition unsealed on Friday. Juan Alessi told attorneys that he had dinner with former President Donald Trump in the kitchen of Epstein's Palm Beach home and met former President Clinton on Epstein's plane. He also said he met Prince Andrew and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, the escapee, at the Palm Beach home, according to the deposition. Alessi also says he met foreign beauty queens, and an unnamed winner of a Nobel Prize in chemistry, according to the document. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to this right here. This will come back in 2 years. Bruce is predicting it 5 January 2024. The unnamed winner of a Nobel Prize in chemistry, according to the document, this guy is going to come up, and he's going to be big. When asked on Wednesday about the appearance of Clinton's name in an earlier batch of unsealed documents, a Clinton spokesman reiterated in a 2019 statement that Clinton had flown on Epstein's private plane that said Clinton knew nothing of the financier's terrible crimes. Terrible crimes. The spokesman said that it had now been nearly 20 years since President Clinton last had contact with Epstein. Clinton has not been accused of any crimes or wrongdoing related to Epstein. However, there is a mention of Clinton in excess of 25 individual flights to Epstein's properties. Trump has also not been accused of any crimes or wrongdoing with regards to Epstein. Alessi also
Suck it,
spoke about the
Leffy.
young women who came to the house to give Epstein massages. Alessi answered questions about one female whom he understood to be under the age of 18. Her name was
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
In the trial transcripts, it said the DA that was asking the witnesses, the girls that were the abused girls, what different words meant. And they said massage meant sex. So when Ghislaine would tell them to go to see Prince Andrew and give him a massage and give him whatever he asked for, they meant that's what they meant. And they testified in that. And it's in the transcripts, which I have posted on my timeline on Twitter.
How many massages are in a text there, Janet?
Quite a few times, more than I can count.
How many massages?
I don't know how many. I didn't get to count them all.
Okay,
But,
never mind. One of these days, we're going to open up a document. We'll do a specific word count.
Well, I have it.
Okay.
If I had Chat GPT, because the people that I watched when they were doing it, they were taking all the files and they were putting them into Chat GPT and asking certain questions, and that would be able to tell you like that how many times that was mentioned in those trials. See, that to me, I'm glad they released the trial stuff first, because that's actual evidence that proves that these people put this woman in prison. Okay, there's enough evidence that they was brought up to put all these people in prison. So there you go. I'll shut up.
Megyn Kelly said something earlier today, and once we get done with this story, before I put my foot up, I'm going to pull up an article and a video, and Megyn Kelly is going to come out with something that one way or another, we're going to have our ass knocked clear. We're not going to feel the next couple shits on this. Yeah. Anyway, he answers questions about the girl that's under 18. Her name's redacted from unsealed documents. Her mom would occasionally accompany her to Epstein's home. Oh, what a trooper. In terms of payment, everybody got $100 an hour, Alessi said. Could you imagine? You're getting your shit clapped by heads of state, former president of the United States, and you get like $100 for 20 minutes of snuggle struggle. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you've just been like, that's like almost DOD wages for active duty. Okay. Famed magician and illusionist David Copperfield is also among the high-profile men identified as a friend of Epstein. Copperfield's name is mentioned during the deposition testimony released Friday of one of Epstein's then-employees, Sarah Kellen. Mm-hmm. A lawyer for the plaintiffs asked about Epstein's relationship with the illusionist and whether they recruited girls for each other. The lawyer questioned if Copperfield gives tickets to Epstein for young women when he's performing shows and if the girls are invited backstage after the shows. To all questions, Kellen asserts her Fifth Amendment right and refuses to answer the question. Copperfield is also named in the 2016 deposition released Wednesday by a woman who massaged Epstein for years in the early 2000s, probably not for $100 an hour. She said she met the illusionist at a dinner at Epstein's Palm Beach residence and testified it was her observation the two were friends. Johanna Stolberg testified in the deposition that Copperfield performed magic tricks while he was at the Palm Beach house and asked her what she knew about Epstein's methods for procuring girls to work for him. Mm-hmm. He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls, Stolberg asked. Copperfield didn't elaborate at the time. She also said there was another girl at the house that seemed young at a dinner that included David Copperfield, the magician. She recalled thinking at the time that the girl could have been in high school. CNN has reached out to the representatives for Copperfield for comment. The name of disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, the sexual predator, appears in a 2005 handwritten note left for Jeffrey Epstein as well. The handwritten note, dated 1 March 2005 appears to be a telephone message left for Epstein that Weinstein attempted to call Epstein that morning. She had on the phone Mr. Harvey Weinstein, the message reads. It was included among nearly 200 written phone messages. Harvey Weinstein will probably be the only person that will be investigated and found to be guilty, maybe even the only individual who will serve any penalty for these transgressions. But the opinion stops and the reading of the article continues. Brad Edwards, Giuffre's lawyer at one point, wrote a book titled Relentless Pursuit, My Fight for the Victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Released in 2020, but overshadowed by Burning Wendy's in Kenosha, in which he discusses Weinstein's involvement in Epstein's world. Edwards wrote that Epstein told a victim he would introduce her to Weinstein. In another excerpt, Edwards wrote Epstein ended his relationship with Weinstein after he acted too aggressively with one of his favorite girls. There is no implication of wrongdoing by Weinstein in connection to Epstein for the documents. CNN has reached out to an attorney for Weinstein. Weinstein, 71, remains in prison after being convicted on sex crimes charges in New York and California, linked to allegations that he used influence to lure women to private meetings, assault them, and then silence any accusations. Disquieting documents. Some of the documents are unsettling. In a newly unsealed excerpt from a deposition of accuser Nadia Markinkova, attorney David Urema asks Markinkova, were you with Jeffrey Epstein on his birthday when one of his friends sent him to three 12-year-olds for the purposes of Jeffrey Epstein sexually abusing them? I'm going to pause right there while my panel collects themselves. 3 12-year-olds. That's not even probably like a 37-year-old in trade.
Yeah.
This is fucking disgusting.
Yep.
Death penalty. Disgusting.
Yeah, and that's what, did you see that? Did you hear today when Trump did the speech today or the interview?
I have not sat down till just now, Janet.
Okay, well, he said in that he believes that some of these people should get the death penalty. So
Some?
they don't, yeah. Well, depending on the ones who did stuff, just because you were there and just because you were on a list order does not mean that you did anything. The girls
but being a
that are
willing
alive
accomplice.
can testify, and they have plenty of testimony just from this one case, and that's not even the transcript from Epstein's trial, right? So we got stuff from Epstein's trial and Ghislaine, or whatever her name is, her trial transcripts with evidence. With you can get pictures, everything you want, anything you want. You just have to put the paperwork in and ask for it. You have to pay to get it, but you can get it. So what I'm saying is there's tons of evidence. All this stuff we've been saying was there, and now it's coming out. The Prince Andrew, I mean, what are we supposed to do about that? How are we going to get him? Do you think they'll put him, try to help him like they did, what's his name? The WikiLeaks guy? See what I mean?
Oh,
he leaked a bunch of stuff, and they said he was a criminal, and they wanted to crucify him. Well, now we know why.
Okay.
They want all this shit out. Sorry.
Between WikiLeaks boy and McAfee, is everybody paying attention yet? Do we understand that our world is ran by evil and people who worship evil and evil entities? Because there's no way that a man could go to church on Sunday and believe he's in a world that's ruled by God. We are in a world that's ruled by God, but we permit evil to walk all over us. We permit it in the act of trying to be meek or whatever. When's the final straw going to happen? Like that guy that was in Oklahoma, I'm still paying attention to his name on the feeds. The guy that beheaded the statue of Baal, which I was really happy to hear that somebody fucking cut the head off. I'm not sorry about that. If you like Moloch, if you like beating up little kids with your penis or vagina, if you enjoy, doing horrible things to kids, you deserve a violent end, preferably in public. Like my favorite method, I want to try this before I die. I want to try drawing and quartering somebody like a Rothschild or one of these fuckers on the manifest for Epstein. I want to see the guts kind of come apart when the horses take off their different directions. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds disgusting, but that would be great.
Well, I just want everybody to know I just posted a link in the chat on YouTube, and it's a link to my X channel or my X profile, and it is part of what I tried to put up on YouTube. I tried to do this 2 weeks ago. It's about Comet Ping Pong, Hillary Clinton and Podesta and others, Epstein, a whole bunch of others is mentioned in it. And I tried to put it up, and YouTube took the video down, and they sent me an email and said, we took down your video for violating. This is just a warning, but they said the reason they took it down was for cyber bullying. So I just wanted to let you know. And I posted that on my Twitter. So if you want to see it, it's in 7 little 2-minute videos, because it wouldn't let me put the whole video up. I guess I have to pay more money or something to be able to have longer videos on my X. But if you want to see it, it's all broken down. It shows who owned Comet Ping Pong and a couple other places that were all involved with a lot of this. And it connects all the dots with whole bunches of different characters that are involved in all of this stuff that's coming out. And I hope they all fry. But the thing is, us Americans have got to fight for these girls that have been trafficked, and boys, it's girls and boys, to all these people. We need to make sure that we are willing to do jury duty, stand up and protest in front of our sheriff's departments, our courts, or whatever it takes to make sure these people are brought to justice. We have to do it. And we can do it if we just say, okay, this is real, this is happening, and it could have been your kid. Okay, it could have been your grandbaby, could have been your daughter, could have been your sister. Okay, so if we could think at it that way and say we got to fight for these people, and we got to start fighting for our kids. So please share everything you get, everything you see, read everything that you can read, get the documentation printed out, whatever you have to do. That's the only way. This is the only way for us to help the courts take these people down. I am so proud of this judge that released this information, okay? Because they're risking their life. I'm telling you, these people, they probably got tons of threats from all these big people, millionaires, billionaires, not to release this information.
Yeah. And, last word, or some of them with the last name Clinton are definitely sending threats right now.
Yep, I guarantee it.
Or assassins. I mean,
yeah, that too. But what I'm saying is, I expect, who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks. But as these stuff comes out and people get a chance to go through it, but the thing is that we got to stay calm, and we got to do the right thing to help these girls. Because if we all end up in jail because we go off half-cocked, who's going to be left to help the kids, right? So we got to think. We got to be smart about it. We got to do it right. Go ahead, Bruce. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're good. You're great. So they send him 3 12-year-old kids for the purposes for massaging. Mm-hmm. He then asks if these 12-year-old girls are from France, where they sent to him on his birthday by Jean-Luc Brunel or by somebody else. Mm-hmm. Marcinkova invoked the Fifth Amendment to that question, and throughout her whole deposition, which includes multiple sword-acted names. Brunel, a French modeling scout, died in a jail cell in 2022, mysteriously, while under investigation by French authorities for his ties to Epstein. Virginia Giuffre has also recounted the story of 12-year-olds being sent to Epstein in her own court depositions. Previous document releases included information about Epstein's associates and accusers, though much of the information had previously been reported on by various media outlets or released through other court proceedings. So Giuffre and Maxwell settled the civil suit in 2017, but some court documents remain sealed until now. Now, these previous releases include information about the associates and accusers for Epstein,
Mhm.
though much of the information has previously been reported on by various media outlets and has been hinted by numerous celebrities, celebrity gossip individuals, or released through other court proceedings. The documents from the suit, most of them were unsealed in 2019, the day before Epstein died by suicide in jail. Epstein was indicted in 2019 on federal charges of operating a sex trafficking ring in which he allegedly sexually abused dozens of underage girls. Epstein died in a jail while awaiting trial. Prosecutors in New York indicted Maxwell on sex trafficking charges involving multiple victims. She was convicted in 2021. This is a breaking story. Check back on it for updates. I'm going to throw some.
But we still have depositions, all kinds of evidence that they
Where's
had
the videos?
to bring Epstein to trial. Okay, so supposedly it was enough for him to commit suicide in jail. But the thing is, I have many friends that are thinking that he was really, really rich, and how easy it was for somebody like him to be able to just commit suicide. Well, what if they were to just swap the bodies out and he just walked out dressed as a guard or whatever else with help, and they left some poor schmuck that they got that looked a lot like him, because they use body doubles all the time. I mean, I was told that Barack Obama had 8 or something, 8 doubles. So, I'm just saying, with the right amount of this, you could pretty much get away with whatever you want. That's why it's up to us to make sure that all these people named in this, even if they go to another country, which I'm sure plenty of them have or already did. I mean, I haven't heard anything from Hillary Clinton in a while. I haven't seen any of these people. So, and I know David Copperfield owns an island somewhere in the Caribbean. So, who knows where he's at. But I don't even know if he did anything. But what I'm saying is, people on this list, we need to bring the people in that they have evidence against and start prosecuting these people. We need to start doing something to show that we give a shit about children in the United States of America. Boys and girls should have the right to be boys and girls until they're an adult and choose on their own to fall in love and have sex. They shouldn't be forced into doing any of this bullshit. And grown-ups that do that to them should be punished or put to death, or whatever it is that we decide as American citizens. But if we don't take over our country and give it back to our families and our children, what are we leaving for them? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Are we just laying our kids out on a big platter for all these people to just feed off of? Is that what we're doing?
That's actually what it feels like. Like we aren't done. We haven't sacrificed enough kids to Moloch yet. We need to bleed out another couple dozen, because really, like, we have fallen so far from the unholy sacrament. And
I mean, we're teaching our elementary school kids how to masturbate. I mean, think about it. Okay, without even their parents even knowing about it. We've got books in their libraries showing them how to perform sexual acts on each other and stuff. Why are we letting this happen? It's not just that now. Now we're even just, kids are just walking over the border and no birth certificates, no shot records, no way of knowing who they are. And they're just lined up for these cartels to sell to whoever the highest bidder is. And there's nothing we can do about it. And yeah, I don't know who they are. They're illegals, but they're kids. Okay, they're children. They're little kids who haven't had a chance to make any decisions for themselves. And that's what makes me sick about it. I want these people to be punished for doing these things to any child, period. It just disgusts me.
And honestly, if the courts are not willing to do it, then perhaps the people need to do it. There's a video that's going around where a guy in jail killed his cell mate, and he fully admitted it without any remorse, because that man was a pedophile.
That.
Mm-hmm. But there are laws and rules for us as civil servants, as American citizens, to be able to perform trials and stuff on our own in our own streets with our sheriffs and stuff. So there are things for us to do if our courts and our system in our states aren't going to do it. But we have to do something. We have to start educating ourselves on the laws that we have in our states and start holding our courts accountable, our sheriffs, our police departments, all of them. They all need to be doing their damn jobs. You know, we don't need 100 police cars to show up at the mall because a bunch of kids are running around with sticks hitting each other. Okay. We need them out there arresting drug cartels that are taking kids and selling them to the highest bidder. That's the kind of shit where our cops should be sent to.
What we need to do is stop funding sanctuary cities, actually end sanctuary city status, and we need martial law in our country right now because we need
pretty
to
much almost have that in some areas.
Yeah, we almost have it.
Yeah, well, we actually need it right now because we actually need to say, you know what? I am declaring an emergency in our country. Sanctuary city status is no longer in effect. It is therefore no longer applicable. We will be sending in federal law enforcement and, if need be, military to pacify these areas because crime has reached critical mass. And I'm sorry, folks, that sounds imperialistic. Yes, I get that. But in times of emergencies like this, it's called emergency powers, and the Constitution by law can be suspended when it needs to be. And unfortunately, right now, it does need to be. Some of the Constitution needs to be suspended in order to actually get these things going so that our country can get back on course to being the republic that we all know it can truly be. Because there's a lot of people right now, or there's a few retards on Twitter right now arguing with me saying, the U.S. has never been a republic, and that's dangerous to say. It's a republic. Our forefathers never wanted a democracy. Look in the Constitution.
Yeah, we have a constitutional republic.
Yeah, look in our Constitution, the 50 state constitutions, and our Declaration of Independence. You want to know what word is not in any of those documents? The word democracy. The only democratic practice we have is a vote. That's it.
Yeah, but the sad fact is kids are graduating from high school. They don't know anything about our country. They don't know anything about the Constitution. They
should not be allowed to vote then. They should not be allowed to vote. I agree with Vivek Ramaswamy.
It's the teacher's fault.
I agree. And those teachers should be held accountable
for their jobs
criminal
when
neglect.
These kids can't read or write. They don't know squat. They can't work because they don't know anything. They don't have any skills.
Conroy Veritas.
Okay, can I say the? Can I say?
And nobody. Sorry, I've actually suggested.
It's not the teacher's fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. We did it. We basically believed what everyone was saying about. Like I said, I said it. 1910, 100 years ago, or 110 now. 1913. That was when everything changed. They decided to tax everybody. That they decided to industrialize everything, and that's what happened. Instead of, I keep saying it again. Instead of being a specialist, you became you did one thing. You need to work. You need a job. You need to get kicked out of the house. No more family, no more inner circle, and then you had to depend on government. And then they caused the stock market crash in 29 because they're doing what they're doing now. They're basically pumping money into the system. Everybody spend money and then invest, and that's what they're basically saying. Best economy ever. So that you can invest, and then you'll lose your shirt. You'll lose your 401k. It's coming. But again, it's our fault. We're the ones responsible. And totally against what you're saying. Martial law, no. That's exactly. And again, that's why I'm going back to what I said. It's the shift of the religious nuts shit are going to switch over to just as evil. That's evil. No, we're not. No martial law. No nothing. And again, I don't even want shit. They're all pedophiles. We know that. It's over. Done. It gets kick them all out and all that stuff. Who cares? I don't care. It's dumb. That's what I'm saying. It's pointless because this is the distraction. We're going to rile up the religious idiots to basically call for law, to call for, going out and killing people. They want us to be at odds, kill each other. And you're falling right into it. The argument I've always said.
People like us are going to say we have to let the courts do it by
like you guys.
Making sure our courts bring in the people, interview them, take the evidence that we already have, and make sure that the people who have already been named by these girls, that they were the ones that they had to perform acts on, those people are brought to justice. But if just because they went there does not mean that they did anything. That's why we have to make sure we have level heads, that we don't go off half-cocked and do dumb shit, because we don't help the kids and the future kids if we go off half-cocked and make stupid mistakes, because all we're going to do is hurt each other. We have to be smart about this and do it the right way, because we are civilized and we should act civilized, period. That's what I'm going to tell people. And that's what I tell people all the time. If it was you and you were accused of something, wouldn't you want someone to actually think about it and make sure that they were right and had the right person? And the only ones that can do that are the ones that were abused.
Yes.
And that's why we need to bring them up and let them say that, and that. And here's the evidence. So we already showed in Ghislaine's trial, and all the stuff they had brought up that they were going to use on Epstein, right? That's all we need. Mm-hmm. They got tons of videos. They got tons of emails. They got tons of evidence from Epstein's apartment and the island. So I'm telling you, they got plenty to hang every person that was there, every single person that did whatever they did. They should all be punished. I don't care if it's Prince, whatever his name is. I don't care what country they're from. The people that did things should be punished, period. And we are going
to destabilize the academy, destabilize everything.
Well,
Janet, you're just saying you want anarchy. You want the plebes to run themselves. They need the elite. They need the elites. They need to have the mainstream media shepherd them and tell them and focus them. What are you thinking about, Janet? Stop it. You're telling people to think for themselves. Stop it.
Well, Papa Cotton said he doesn't trust the government. Well, I don't either, but that's why we need to make sure we hold them accountable. Okay. When I go and I work the polls, guess what? My ass is sitting in that chair and I'm counting, I'm checking signatures, I'm filling out everything I'm supposed to, I'm asking questions, and I'm doing everything legally, because my ass is sitting there making sure it's getting done until the end of the night. Okay. So I'm holding everyone in that room accountable because I'm watching what's going on. And so is every other person that's sitting in the chair trying to follow the letter of the law. Same thing when I go to jury duty starting on the 10th. I'm going to do the same damn thing. They're going to hate my guts because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, exactly what the law tells me to do, because I give a shit about whether a person has a fair trial. I care about these girls getting justice when they have evidence. I just went through this shit, okay, with my niece. Okay, so I'm saying it can be done, but it's a lot of work. It's hard. You're going to cry a lot. It's buttloads of shit that you got to deal with, but it's worth it when you see that asshole get the handcuffs put on and they're dragged off, and you don't know what's going to happen to them when they end up in jail, which is what you just have to wait and see what happens to them. But the thing is, you got to be right. You got to do it the right way. You got to show the kids that you got to have justice, but you can get justice and follow through. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. And I hope that every person who cares about these kids and any future kids that might be hurt wants to do it the right way too, and hold our judges and our police and everyone else in office accountable to follow through with what we demand, which is what we deserve, because our Constitution tells us we deserve it.
Soy Base Jeremy, I'm gonna actually comment on this. I have been I've been incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit. I got Me Too'd before Me Too was it, or while Me Too was in its infancy. Actually, before it even was born. They treat you as guilty until proven innocent when it's actually supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And people who are convicted of these disgusting crimes, when they get sent up, meaning when they get sentenced to prison instead of jail, there is a system that is illegal that happens in which the guards will call up to the prison once the orders are set of where this person is going. And if that person is convicted of sexual crimes against children or women or whatever, they will call that prison and say, "Hey, you got a guy who is this or who is a rapist or a pedophile or whatever, and they will be arriving at this time and they'll be in this transport." And they will make sure at that prison that there are people in there who will be made aware of your charges, and they will attack you. It is absolutely illegal to do because you are essentially condemning a person to death, even though that was not the sentence. Believe it or not, not everybody who is convicted is guilty. There is such a thing as a false conviction. There is such a thing as a misconviction, meaning an innocent person was convicted of a crime, and unfortunately, that stuff actually happens. My lawyer, when I was getting ready for my trial date, he told me flat out, the jury can choose to forego evidence and just believe what the accuser has said, because they will simply see them as a victim, and they will see, well, this person has no reason to lie. And despite of actual exculpatory evidence, meaning evidence that clears you, you could still be found guilty. So yeah, as much as I think that pedos and rapists should be put to death, they are entitled to their right of what's known as due process. Even when you are convicted, what you are sentenced to is what should happen to you, it should not come down to convict justice, and it should not be perpetuated by guards at prisons, be them state or federal. It should not ever be done that way. However, unfortunately, some of these pieces of shit at justice centers are on power trips. Yeah. And believe me, I've actually witnessed it happen. So yeah, I do not think that these people should be stabbed. Now, do I believe that they should be put to death? Absolutely, but only, and I do mean only, if they are found guilty beyond reasonable doubt, beyond any doubt, meaning the evidence is 100% clear that the person did it. Otherwise, they are entitled to their due process, which also includes an appeal. So
that's right,
yes,
because it could be any of us, exactly. Man or woman. It could be any of us.
I was one of them.
And I've seen it happen. I've seen girls accuse other guys of certain things because their boyfriend found out they were seeing them, and they said that wasn't what happened. They were forced into it, things like that. So you don't know why someone will accuse you of something, why if they're jealous or whatever it is. What I'm saying is we can be upset and whatever, because I'm upset. Believe me, I'm upset. I just went through this whole thing. I went through this whole thing, and I'm telling you, it's not a pretty thing. It's not fun.
No, it isn't.
But we have to do it legally. We have to make sure that person gets what they deserve through the courts, not by our justice, not by our hands going to court and doing it that way, doing it the right way, staying calm. We have to have laws, and it can be done, but we just have to all work together and make sure that these people don't slip through the cracks. And exactly. By us complaining constantly, picketing, whatever it is that we got to do, do it. We got to do it. We got to stand by our morals, because that's all we have, people. This is all we have. It's who we are. Our character proves who we are, and whether we deserve to be able to voice our opinion is up to us by making sure that we follow the laws and don't end up in jail where we can't say anything or do anything. I mean, you know what I mean?
You want to, we can be a lawful society, but I feel we need to be operating from a position of strength. And therefore, like, if you have like some money that's sitting and you haven't started to invest it yet, I would just say go buy ammunition and have some ammunition clipped or magazined up, ready to go, because I would rather operate from a position of strength than have somebody, catch me with my pants down, or like not have my shower gun available while I'm in the shower. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that you can be, like, oh, we can vote our way out of this. That's great for you. I don't have a lot of faith in the system anymore, and I'm just waiting for my corner of hell to start crumbling into the abyss, and I'm gonna do what I can to help it, to stop it. But if like I said, if we can help break the elites, if we can, get some of the people that are usually untouchable, Teflon types, to be absolutely skid marked, and give them a little bit of that non-skid to the face, and show them what it's like to suffer, live in fear, and be like the rest of us, people that bleed real easy. God damn it, I would love that. And I really don't give a shit. I'm tired of watching everything, and like, the Clintons are involved with this. You got fucking Weinstein all over this. I mean, he slaps around anything that's got a vagina. And he doesn't have the charisma of Sean Connery to play it off. It's just a healthy slap, just a healthy little slap down. She'll come around, no big deal. No. This is Jeffrey fucking Epstein. The guy's got less sex appeal than Rocksteady on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, there's not a way for him to ever be dressed up like a fucking perfume pig. He's nasty as fuck. And I don't know how he kept out of prison for so long, but apparently his time was over. His influence was over. So let's chuck him in prison as a sacrificial lamb. Maybe that'll do it. Because they were supposed we were supposed to be happy when Bill Clinton got shoved off to prison, but nobody was happy with that. Like, there were more people that were like, keep going. Come on, let's go. And that's where I'm coming from. I didn't mean to step over you, but I just wanted to finish that.
Well, there's also the case of, Kathy Bates actually pointed this out a couple of years back, that a lot of the people who dropped cases against Weinstein, where they have actually said, never mind, I'm dropping my case. That's because they realized that they could not get a conviction, because Kathy Bates said it best. If you agree to go into that room or into that hotel or whatnot, if you agree to that rendezvous and you agree to the sex at the time, it is not a crime. No crime was committed. Just because you have regret does not make it an illegal act. Simply because you said or you felt that you were violated, even though you agreed to do the act, that's called consensual. That's called consent. You both gave it. Just because you regret it later does not mean it's a crime.
That is exactly why I'm always saying to everyone, I'm against those apps. When you can swipe left and swipe right and just meet up with someone you don't know, you just saw on the internet, and you hook up in a car or in a hotel or one of your apartments or whatever.
It's implied consent.
And if something does happen, it ends up being more than what you thought you were going to get. You put yourself in that situation, so it's going to be harder for you to prove it. You see? Don't do that. Don't give someone your address. Don't go somewhere by yourself.
Never give away your personal information.
Just don't do that. It's not safe. And these are grown-ups making these decisions.
Me and Ruben Christopher Haynes out there with our full fucking name.
What?
Me and Ruben Christopher Haynes are out here with our full fucking names. That's great. Sorry, kids. Don't do it. Don't be like us.
What I mean is, these people picking up people.
I don't give a fuck. That's the whole point. I put it out there. So I want them to fear me. I want them to know my name, because I will be like Julian Assange. And
look at me.
I'll expose it all naturally. Because again,
And I've gotten death threats. I've got people telling me, go to another planet, commit suicide. I'm going to be waiting for you when you leave your house. I'm going to wake you up in the middle of the night. All this kind of scary shit. And I'm nobody.
I've had
Okay.
that happen
And
to
I'm
me
a
as well.
grown up. Okay. I'm a grown woman and it's scary to me. So I can't even imagine what some of these girls went through and how, what did they feel, how they're going to get out of this mess, when they were first brought there the first time. And the fact that some of them's moms took them, it's disgusting. It's all disgusting. And I want to see these people brought to justice, but justice, that means through facts, through documents, through photographs, through evidence. Okay. That's what I mean when I say justice. So go ahead, Bruce. I opened up the other link that you asked me to. So
Which link?
it says convict says he did everyone a favor.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Josh K. Elliott. Yeah, let me share this real quick. I'm gonna bring this over. Nope. Share screen. Convict. Here we go.
Nice.
All right. Nope. No. Damn it. Really, motherfucker. Okay, hold on. I just fucked that up.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Let me pull it back. Present. Private chat. There we go. This one. Convict says he did everybody a favor, English spelling, by killing 2 child molesters. Now I want to bring up this story because this is the right thing that happened. And it's sad that it only happens in prisons. Well, there was that one Texas man that found an individual trying to spy and, masturbate to his 5-year-old daughter watching him through the window from the exterior of the house. He beat him to death, which was great. And the jury found him not guilty of murder. He might have been guilty.
Did you want me to open the other one?
What?
Did you want me to bring the other one up? The one that says that you brought up there? No. Okay.
No.
Sorry, I did the wrong one. Let me do it again. So which one are you reading?
I'm reading the one that says convict says he did everyone a favor by killing 2 child molesters.
Okay. So make sure.
Okay. So he's seeing this other prisoner watching PBS Kids again, and Jonathan Watson says he couldn't take it anymore. Inmate Watson, 41, has publicly confessed to beating 2 convicted child molesters to death at a California prison last month. And this was written 2020, February 21st, 2020. And it's a while ago, but I would rather this still be made known that in California, justice can still happen. It might happen in the most unlikely of places where people are supposed to be safe from each other, but this is good because one of the prisoners taunted him by watching kids programming in a shared prisoner space. He told his side of the January 6th rampage in a confession sent to the Mercury News earlier this week. David Bobb, 48, died en route to the hospital, while Graham DeLewis Conti, 62, passed away 3 days later. Both victims were serving life sentences for aggravated sexual assault of a child under 14 years old. Being a lifer, I'm in a unique position where I can sometimes have access to these people. I have so little to lose, Watson told the Mercury News. And trust me, we get it. These people are every parent's worst nightmare. Watson has not yet been charged, but prison officials identified him last month in January 2020 as the person responsible for beating 2 other inmates to death with a walking cane at the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility in State Prison in Corcoran, California. Watson had only been at the facility for a week after he was transferred there from a higher security institution. He is serving a life sentence for murder. He never should have been transferred to the lower security facility where he was placed in a shared prison pod with several other inmates, including one of the convicted child molesters. According to his letter, the first victim seemed to taunt their entire pod by watching PBS Kids in full view of the other inmates. I could not sleep having not done what every instinct told me I should have done right then and there. So I packed all of my things because I knew one way or another the situation would be resolved the following day, Watson wrote to the paper. He claims he went to the prison counselors the next day and asked for an urgent transfer to a more secure facility because he was afraid he might turn violent. He says a staffer declined his request, so he went back to his pod. This is kind of like how the system cleans itself. And that's when he says he saw PBS Kids again on the television again. This time, someone else said something to the effect of, "Is this guy really going to watch this right now in front of us?" Watson wrote to the paper. And I recall saying, "I got this." And I picked up the cane and went to work on him. The prison guards did not notice the first attack. like, am I thinking wrong here? But the first attack being like a full minute of bludgeoning to death, like the Joker on Robin in Death of a Family and Death in the Family. I'm thinking about this, and like this guy just for a full minute just went whole hog, Babe Ruth in the shit out of this guy with a fucking walking stick. That's awesome. He left the pod to tell the guard about what he'd done, but he stopped in his tracks when he spotted a child trafficker in a neighboring cell. I figured I'd just do everybody a favor. FAVOUR, Watson wrote to the paper. In for a penny, in for a pound. Afterwards, Watson says he went to a guard and reported the killings immediately. He says the guards didn't believe him until he looked in the dorm and saw the mess I'd left. He told the paper that he gave prison staff a full confession and he plans to plead guilty to whatever charges he faces. So a homicide investigation is underway. We can't comment on an active investigation, Dana Simus, a spokesperson for California DOC and Rehabilitation, wrote in an email to the Associated Press. He's already served 10 years of his current life sentence, which he received for first-degree murder and discharging a firearm, causing great bodily injury or death. He's been segregated from other prisoners since the attack and is not allowed to use a phone or see visitors. He sent the paper his confession letter in response to an interview request. Mm-hmm. He and the other inmates have sympathy for the victims of child molesters, and that's why he believes those offenders face so much violence from other inmates in prison. So these families spend years carefully and articulately planning on how to give their children every opportunity that they never had. And one monster comes along and changes that child's trajectory forever. Mm-hmm. That's the article from Global News. Thank you for letting me read that. We need to have hope. Maybe something like that will happen to the elite. Mm-hmm. Just, one of these days, somebody's like, they've already got fucking scope out and they're ready to do something. But here comes fucking dumb shit, fucking Hunter Biden wandering in the scope. Well, fuck. If I just adjust 1.7 degrees to the left with windage, I can put him down. We rented the fucking the chipper for the whole weekend. Who's gonna miss him? Nobody. Fucking Hunter Biden's out there making social media posts. I got me a fucking laptop for Christmas. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. He didn't even want it. He left it. He abandoned ship.
Yeah, except that he was dumb enough to put all that shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was great. It's like he was daring us. He's like, you ain't going to do nothing.
I think he did it on purpose. Because I think he actually feels like he's a victim of his dad. You know what I mean? So he did it basically wanting to hurt his dad. So that's why he blatantly left it at the shop, because he knew sooner or later somebody would say something or try to turn it in or something with all that shit on it. So,
mm-hmm.
He's reaching out for help.
He said he left it because he was high. So,
well, that too. But he didn't leave one. I thought there was two.
No, he just left one.
Okay. Well.
But there was enough on it to to be extremely damning.
Yeah.
Did Ruben leave us?
Yeah, I think he'll be back. He was having problems because the sound kept going up and down and everything like last time.
Well, that's terrible. If I would be manipulating the microphone to be 6 inches away from me and 4 feet away from me, it wouldn't be that problematic, probably.
Yeah.
My microphone's a part of my camera. So
he built this computer himself, from what he was saying.
Sometimes that's a blessing, sometimes a curse.
So he's just trying to work out the little glitches or whatever. But so do you have anything else you want to bring up?
Those are the two things I wanted to relate, because one of them being like, hey, expect a bunch of shit. I would expect a bunch of school shootings in the next like 3 months,
Well,
and a lot of it be blamed on climate change and like.
Yeah, but didn't we just have another one with the transgender?
Yep.
In what was it, Iowa? Was it in Iowa?
Perry, Iowa, was it? The
Yeah.
Transgender
Dallas
LGBT
County. Dallas County.
Yeah, fucking the
Transgender.
Wi-Fi people are really fucking up. Like, if they're gonna be like screaming tolerance and shit, like they need to put the fucking scope down, put the rifle down, you little shit.
And they all say that, oh, trans people are victims. Yeah, I don't think they're victims anymore. They're perpetrators. They keep on going places and shooting and killing innocent people.
The only reason they're victims is because somebody is pumping them full of drugs before they're old enough
to understand,
to make the decision to even take drugs. Okay.
Funny thing you say that. Tennessee recently had a had passed a vote to ban, or I think it was Tennessee, but there was a vote to ban under 18 transitioning surgeries and for minors, so that they're banning it. And get this, a Democrat, a very liberal and woke Democrat, actually voted to allow for that bill to be passed. And this guy's like, hey, I'm all for letting them live their lives, but I do not believe that they should be turned into an experiment, because the case is unique with every case.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's common sense. If a kid can't buy a pack of cigarettes, why can he cut his balls off?
Janet, you're obviously being a bigot.
Or be injected with meds that's going to alter their mind, their bodies, and everything. If they can't even vote, they can't drive, and they can't buy a pack of cigarettes. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make any sense. When they're old, when they're 18 and they can do all those other things, then they can go and get go to a counselor or whatever and say, hey, I feel like I'm trapped in the wrong body. I need help. That's what you do. Yeah. When did a school counselor get the right to tell a kid, well, I think you're in the wrong body and we should cut your balls off and you'll feel like the right sex, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get you some meds and have them mailed to your house without your parents knowing about it. I mean, stuff like that. That's where we went off the rails. When we started letting people who have no say in that stuff had that much say in a child's life. That's bullshit.
The only time
stupidity.
The only time that a teacher should ever have any say over a child's well-being is if that child's well-being is literally put in physical danger at their home. I'm not talking about mental danger because they are not acknowledging my perceived sexuality. No. If that kid is like being beaten or abused in heinous ways at home, then yes, teachers should have a right to step in. Other than that, absolutely not. Mind your fucking business. Stay out of the family's affairs and stay out of that kid's life, other than teaching them what they need to know. I mean, there was a case where I was having knee problems, and I have a knee problem permanently because of it, where I wanted to see a doctor because, well, my knee had been bothering me after I smashed it in gym class. And, well, unfortunately, my family was very traditional. If it's not bleeding, you ain't going to the hospital. So I decided to take it upon myself. I went to the sports trainer after school, and they're like, yeah, you need to have your knee checked out. So I'm going to write you a script. You're going to get your knee checked out and whatnot. And so I went home and it's like, yeah, I need my knee checked out. This is a doctor's order to do so. Well, my parent was not very happy about that, but it turned out that it was a good thing that they did, or that I had it checked out, because I found out that I had a cracked kneecap. My kneecap was actually quite cracked. And they're like, well, nothing can be done really about it right now. but when you're in your 20s, maybe your 30s, you might need surgery. Well, lo and behold, I did need surgery around that time. So it's like, God damn, who was that doctor? I want to actually let them know that they actually got it right. But yeah, that's the only time a teacher or a school supervisor or whatever should ever involve themselves in a child's life at home. If there is abuse, or if there is, now I'm not saying I was abused by any stretch. However, I am saying that there was a small bit of neglect there because my parent was not addressing my medical need in that one regard. But I also made sure I told my parent at the time, it's like, next time this happens, you better freaking listen to me because I don't want anything to happen again. You know?
Yeah. Well, I want to share something. Like I was saying earlier, I tried to put a video up on YouTube about Comet Ping Pong from a long time ago, right? And I got a warning from YouTube that they took down my video. It was after like an hour or something. It wasn't even up there very long. But I said something about it being the truth. Here, listen to the truth or something like that. I can't even remember right this minute. But they took it down and they warned me and said I just got a warning since I hadn't had any strikes or anything against my channel. And that the reason they took it down was because it was cyberbullying. So I broke the video up into 2-minute videos and I posted them on X. So I am going to play one of them. I'm going to play the very first one. And if you guys think it's interesting, I can play the other ones because it's only like 15 minutes total, something like that, 14 minutes. But I think it's important, and it all goes back to all this stuff that's coming out now. All these names are starting to come out, and with the more and more drops they're going to be doing. So I'd like to show this. This is, I think it's 2 minutes long, something like that, and see what everybody thinks. Is it okay with you guys on the panel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to share this. Tell me if you can see it. This right here. I'm going to make it bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, that is a very good video and a lot of good questions there. I'm talking over it because I don't want them to just like hear this stuff and like, oh, look, get the box
This is
on
the
it.
video I posted on X.
Bill Clinton is associated with a guy called Jeffrey
I don't
Epstein.
care if we
In fact,
talk over it or not.
he was pretty good friends with this guy. He used to go traveling with him on a regular basis. He even traveled to Jeffrey Epstein's private island, a place where Epstein kept young women as sex slaves. During these visits, Bill Clinton would not allow his U.S. Secret Service agents to travel with him.
Okay, I paused it for that. Did you hear what she said?
Yep.
Bill Clinton would not let his secret agents or whatever, the people that supposedly to guard him, go with him when he went to the island to be with Epstein. So
Yeah, his Secret Service.
Yeah, his Secret Service. So why? Okay. Now, from the past, before he did all this other stuff as governor in our state of Arkansas, which came up when he was running for president, was the fact that he would leave his security behind while he picked up women. And one of them was Jennifer Flowers and a few other women, right? So, it's kind of hard to break old habits, when you, what you're doing, and using some of his police officer friends to go pick up girls for him, stuff like that. So I'm just saying, it's everything that we're seeing in these videos that I tried to post. This was 2 weeks ago, knowing this stuff was about to come out. That they wouldn't say anything about it because it's the truth. It's going to be proven the truth. But I guarantee 2 weeks from now, when all this stuff's coming out, they're still not going to let me put this up because I have the whole video. I broke it down and made new videos to post on X because they let me. But I want to see later. I'm going to see how long it takes for YouTube to let me post this video because it's facts. This is all stuff that's truth. And they don't want the truth to come out. Maybe because somebody at YouTube is in on it. I don't know. I mean, maybe they indulge, so they don't want to see somebody that they care about, like the Clintons or Podesta or Bill Clinton or whoever else is named in these videos, is cyberbullied. See, that's what they told me. They said it was cyberbullying. Why? I want somebody, when you see some of this stuff, to tell me, why would they say that? Why is this considered cyberbullying because I'm playing this?
Here we
It's not
see
considered
John
cyberbullying.
Podesta
It's in their terms
and Hillary
conditions to
Clinton.
protect the elite.
John Podesta is Hillary Clinton's head of campaign and her right-hand man. John Podesta's Gmail account got hacked, and his emails ended up on WikiLeaks. Here's an email sent to John Podesta. I'll read some of it. We plan to heat the pool,
Look at this.
so a swim is a possibility.
Yeah.
Bonnie will be Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve, Zato, 11, 9, and almost 7.
7.
So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure.
There you go. That's the end of that video. But see, that's as long as I can make the video for it to be uploaded on X. I can't make them any longer than that. But I have 7 videos, that one and 6 more on my timeline. If anybody wants to watch the rest of it, there's plenty of stuff in there. And there's tons of names that come out. They talk about, they show things that happened at Comet Ping Pong. And then it shows you the stuff that's up on the FBI's own website, showing you the symbolism and stuff that that they show for pizza. A slice of pizza is to get a young underage person. Different things, right? And it's funny because the tickets or whatever, the little things that invitations that Hillary would put out, stuff like that, has different symbols on them. And you put them all together and it shows you that they were like having buffets, for kids. And it's disgusting. And I can't believe that because I tried to show this video, I got in trouble for it. And I don't understand it. So I would like for somebody to watch the stuff that I have on my timeline on X, which lets me show this stuff and lets people make their own decisions from the facts compared to what this channel did by taking it down, saying it was cyberbullying. So I don't understand that. But if anybody else can give me the answers to that, it'd be great. But I was wanting to put some stuff up here because I wanted to read some of this. Yeah, it's a tough election year. It's definitely going to be. And then let's see. Sorry, I'm not very good at doing all these things at one time. Yeah, it goes against the narrative. I understand that, but I can't help it. I'm very passionate about this stuff.
We're patriots.
I told Bruce this way back when I first started, and I think one of our very first live streams together was on his Rumble. And we were talking about some of this shit, that video or that documentary, The Eyes of the Devil, which I've shared hundreds of times with people because it's sad and terrible. It's about 4 brothels overseas that have children 10 and under in them. And it's sad to think that brothels with children 10 and under. And if you have enough cash, you can get a newborn. So it's disgusting. But real people like that live in this planet with us. They look at children as food, a something just to use and throw away. That's it. They're usable pieces of shit. And I wish those people that look at kids that way were usable and we could dispose of them. That's what I really wish we could do.
You really can't. It's just you have to have the opportunity fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you'll share my screen real quick.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
All right, we're going to talk about a thing that happened when I was a young boy. Thank you, Six Nations, 31 Kings. We're talking about Kim McElroy in the chat. This was an American criminal convicted of attempted murder who resided in Skidmore, Missouri, United States.
Mm-hmm.
He was known as the town bully, and his unsolved killing became the focus of international attention. Over the course of his life, McElroy was accused of dozens of felonies, including assault, child molestation, statutory rape, arson, animal cruelty, hog and cattle rustling, and burglary. In all, he was indicted 21 times but escaped conviction each time except for the last. In 1981, he was convicted of attempted murder in the shooting of the town's 70-year-old grocer, Ernest Bowenkamp. And McElroy successfully appealed the conviction and was released on bond, after which he engaged in an ongoing harassment campaign against Bowenkamp and others who were sympathetic to Bowenkamp, including the town's Church of Christ minister. He appeared at a local bar, the D&G Tavern, armed with an M1 Garand and bayonet, and later threatened to kill Bowenkamp. The next day, McElroy was shot to death in broad daylight as he sat with his wife Trina in his pickup truck on Skidmore's main street. He was struck by bullets from at least 2 different firearms in front of a crowd of people estimated as numbering between 30 and 46. To date, no one has been charged in connection with McElroy's death. Now, this piece of shit was born in 1934, the 15th of 16 children born to a poor migrant tenant farming couple named Tony and Mabel McElroy. They moved between Kansas and the Ozarks. And they were outside of more. Go ahead.
Damn internet. It just died on me.
It's okay. It's all right. I knew you'd come back, and I was watching for you.
So he dropped out of school at age 15 in the 8th grade and established a local reputation as a cattle rustler, small-time thief, and womanizer. For 2 decades, he's suspected of being involved in theft of grain, gasoline, alcohol, antiques, and livestock, but he avoided conviction when charges were brought against him 21 times, often after witnesses refused to testify because he allegedly intimidated them, frequently by following his targets or parking outside their homes and watching them. He was represented by piece of shit DA Richard Gene McFadden of Gallatin, Missouri. McElroy fathered more than 10 children with different women. He met his last wife, Trina McLeod, when she was 12 and in 8th grade, and he was 35. He raped her repeatedly. His parents initially opposed the relationship, but after McElroy burned their house down and shot the family dog, they begrudgingly agreed to the marriage. She became pregnant when she was 14, dropped out of school in the 9th grade, went to live with McElroy and his second wife, Alice. McElroy tells Alice meet the street, and married Trina in order to escape charges of statutory rape, to which she was the only witness. 16 days after Trina gave birth, she and Alice fled to Trina's parents' house. McElroy tracked them down, brought them back. When the parents were away, McElroy went to their home where once again he burned the house down and shot McLeod's new dog. So, events prior to his killing, there's a bunch of stuff from 73 about arson, assault, statutory rape. He's booked, arrested, released on $2,500. Trina and baby are placed in foster care in Maryville. McElroy sat outside the foster home for hours at a time staring at it, and he would trade girl for girl to get his child back since he knew where the foster family's biological daughter went to school and what bus route she rode. So he got child support against him for that too. So he shot at people. Romaine Henry shot him twice with a shotgun after Henry challenged him for shooting weapons on Henry's property. McElroy was charged with assault with intent to kill, so McElroy denies he's at the scene. They dragged the course on, no court date. He parked outside the house at least 100 times. At the trial, 2 raccoon hunters testified they were with McElroy the day of the shooting away from Henry's property. He's forced to admit in court under questioning by McElroy's attorney, Richard Gene McFadden, that he had concealed his own petty criminal conviction for more than 30 previous years. McElroy gets convicted.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets into an argument in 1980 because his kid screams at a clerk, Evelyn Sumi, at a local grocer owned by 70-year-old Ernest Bo Bowenkamp, and his wife Lois. Give me a minute, bud. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. I gotta be somewhere in 10 minutes at my front door. Okay. If you are going to snipe me in 9.5 minutes, put the red dot at my door. You'll be fine. Okay. So, because you ain't got a pair. So, Bowenkamp threatens this guy. Listen, get the fuck out of my store. McElroy starts to stalk the Bowenkamp family, threatens Bo Bowenkamp in the back of the store with a shotgun in hand, and McElroy shot Bowenkamp in the neck. Bowenkamp survives, and McElroy was arrested and charged with attempted murder. He's convicted at the trial of assault, but freed on bail pending an appeal. So after being released at a post-trial hearing, McElroy went to the D&G Tavern, a local bar with an M1 Garand with an attached bayonet, and made graphic threats about what he would do to Bo Bowenkamp. So this led to several patrons deciding to see what they could do legally to prevent McElroy from harming anyone else. The appeal hearings again delayed. On 10th of July, 1981, townspeople meet at Legion Hall in the center of town with Nottoway County Sheriff Dan Estes to discuss how to protect themselves. So during the meeting, McElroy arrives at D&G Tavern with Trina. He sits at the bar drinking. Word gets back to the men at Legion Hall he's in town. Estes instructs the group not to get in a direct confrontation with McElroy, but instead seriously consider forming a neighborhood watch program. Estes leaves with his town cruiser. The citizens at the meeting decide to go to the tavern en masse. They can't fucking arrest us all. The bar soon it just fills up. And after McElroy finishes his drinks, he purchases a 6-pack of beer, left the bar, and enters a pickup truck. While he's sitting in the pickup truck saying, "You ain't got a pair," he's shot at several times, but hit only twice because, well, public education. And they don't teach fucking gun safety or rifle etiquette. Once of them gets hit by a center fire rifle, and once by a .22 rimfire rifle. In all, 46 potential witnesses to the shooting, including his bitch wife Trina, who was too young to probably even have a legal say at this. She's probably in her early 20s, actually. She's in the truck with her husband, and he was shot. Nobody called for an ambulance. Nope, fuck him. No ambulance for you. And only Trina claimed to identify a gunman. Every other witness was either unable to name an assailant, or I just didn't see who fired the fatal shots. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke when everybody fired at once. I don't know what happened. It was great. DA declined to press charges. An extensive federal investigation did not lead to any charges either. I would love to see the feds go there and try to figure out what the fuck happened. Because those guys are fun to watch when shit gets confusing. Missouri-based journalist Steve Buher described the attitude of some townspeople as he needed killing. And there's people out there that will say things like, I don't advocate violence. No. If it's a piece of shit, take your shot. Try to put the body with some pigs. Have a good life.
Well, I can see why you would say stuff like that. I understand because, it's like I said, personally, I went through this, and it's to watch the parents having to deal with this when this happens to their child is devastating. I mean, it's a devastating, my heart just melted every time. And I just bawled my eyes out all the time. I was crying all the time. I didn't know how people deal with this. And that's how I deal with stuff is I just cry, and I cry a lot. But the thing is, but you see that person and you just want to rip their head off. I mean, I can understand it because and they got that look on their face, like the smug. They're just repulsive. You just want them off this planet. Okay, that's what you want.
You can't get me. I own this town. Don't you know who I am?
But the thing is that they were good parents. They stayed together because a lot of people don't stay together. They end up getting separated because they can't deal with the stress of this type of thing happening to their family. Their child goes missing, or their child's been molested, or their child's been raped, or worse, they've been damaged so bad that they end up having to be put in an institution. I mean, there's so many horrible things that goes along with some of this stuff. But the thing is, that's what's most important is sticking together and fighting for the kids to make sure they get the therapy they need, they get the love and affection that they need to help them grow and get past this. Because if it happens young enough, if it doesn't do medically damaging things to them where they can have a normal life as they grow up, and they can have the right therapy, they can get past it, okay? Because they don't remember. There was suppressed memories that might come back later on when they have their own child or whatever. But we have to end the cycle, okay? Because when a child is molested, the chances go way up that by the time they're an adult, they're going to molest children too, unless they get the help they need. And then it just goes full circle. It goes again, it goes again, it goes again. That's why we're bombarded with all of these people in the world that are nuts because of this. I mean, they end up drinking, or they end up doing drugs, or both, or they end up being a serial killer, or they kill animals. I mean, whatever way that their poor brain is trying to deal with things. And that's another aftermath of what's going on. I mean, I've met some wonderful people during the whole thing that I went through, people that had went through this themselves, that came from another state to testify in the behalf of my niece. They sacrificed for themselves to help someone else, even though they'd went through horrible things themselves. So it's amazing that somebody could crawl through the depths of whatever they're going through and what they'd been through to help another person so that they don't have to go through it, and to make sure that the person that did this to them wasn't able to do it to someone else. And see, to me, that's a hero right there. That's a selfless hero, a person that can do those things for someone else. And I just strive to try to be everything that my mother wanted me to be. What my mom always told me growing up, that I just laughed at her and said, "Oh God, Mom, you don't know what you're asking of me, blah, blah, blah," whatever we do as we grow up. But the older I get, the more I realize that everything my mother said was right, was true, was if you expect people to treat you well, you have to treat people well. You have to treat them as an equal. You have to be kind and generous and courteous to them, and listen to what they're saying when they're talking to you, and then try to explain why you're making decisions that you're making, or why you're doing certain things, and why it's affecting them because of the choice that you made, and trying to be as open about it as you can. And I just do all that because that's what my mom would want from me. And my mom is not here anymore, but she can see me all the time. I believe that. So it makes me want to do it even more, because I feel like she can see everything I do. So I have to do the best I can to fulfill what I feel my mother would want from me. But that's how I do things. But other people do it differently. So I try not to judge other people by the way they do things. But I do expect all of us to do what's right for when it comes to the kids. And that means whatever choices you can make and fit in your schedule to still be responsible to your own families and your own households. Because that is without your own household, how are you going to help anyone else? So that's how I look at all of it. So go ahead.
Orange hat.
Yep, I am going to have to start getting off because I got to take care of some stuff.
Just gonna go
Okay, well, is there anything you would like to say to everybody before you have to leave?
Yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself. Also, what's today? Friday? Sunday, I have my weekend recap or weekly recap. Monday, I'm going to be on my buddy Junebug's channel for an interview. It's going to be like afternoon. I'll definitely be putting the link out. Okay. Tuesday is my theme stream. It's going to be Armageddon versus Deep Impact. Ooh. Bring back the versus streams, folks, but it's movie versus movie instead of character versus character.
Well, that's a good one to do, because those movies came out within 3 months of each other after there was a supposedly killer asteroid hurtling towards Earth. Do you remember that or no?
Oh, yeah, I do. Also Wednesday, me and my friend Mara are going to be discussing National Treasure on her channel at 8 p.m. Or Thursday is going to be discussing Con Air because we're doing Nick Cage New Year's. Me and Mara. So yep, we're going to be discussing Con Air on my channel. So this upcoming Thursday, look for that one. So yeah,
that's the Holy Trinity.
We're going to be doing National Treasure, Con Air, and The Rock.
I love Mara. She's very cute.
What about Face Off?
We might do Face Off if we can, or we might do an impromptu on Face Off. I'll ask her about it.
If you're doing those two, I would include Face Off because there was a period of like 18 months where Face Off, Con Air, and The Rock had came out, and in a lot of people's eyes, those are the holy trinity of Nick Cage action films.
Yeah,
that's even noted on Wikipedia, which I don't put a lot of stock in, but it's still mentioned there. And it was a good time. I don't know how old you are, but
I'm 39. Well, almost
the
39.
90s were not a bad time.
I remember
a lot of high fives, and I remember a lot of fun that happened in the 90s. And it was like the high point of my existence so far, which I hate to say, but I mean, you had good comedy. I mean, we had the fat girl getting the blue dress sperm stained. That was great. That's what a Ghislaine is right there.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll ask her about it.
I'll pop up in chat and come on, Mara, do it for the fans.
Yeah. Hey, it might work. It might work. But anyway, I do gotta hop off. Gotta take care of some stuff before I hit the SAG.
Well, thank you for joining us. And anyone in the chat that isn't following Orange Hat or anyone else on the panel, please give them a follow. And Orange Hat is also on X.
Yep.
So if you're on X, please follow Orange Hat. He's always got some really good stuff to talk about. And he's really a genius. At least I think he's very smart. So
that's my handle on X, folks.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Orange Hat 2185. But yep, thank you for having me, and I'll see y'all on the next one, folks.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. So, okay, Ruben, is there anything you'd like to bring up and talk about tonight having to do with any of this bullshit that's going on?
Not the bullshit. Well, the bullshit is the bullshit. It's just the distraction.
Yeah, I know.
And again, the bottom line with everything with all of this. I didn't catch the last one. I missed what you were talking about regarding this guy. What was the point of that guy, whoever it was? But the idea is the fact that yes, in prison, again, if it happens, it's a happy accident that because again, there's a certain how'd you say it, code in prisons. The fact that they still even honoring thieves, even thieves themselves, or the people that are in jail right now, if they know that it's a pedophile or somebody who goes after women or goes after kids, they get taken care of. It's basically culling the herd in a way. But again, if we do it in a way where we instigate it, it could be bad, because imagine if Orange Hat didn't have his he had better representation, and he was, and then basically he got sidetracked. If he didn't have enough money, like an Epstein or whatever, and gotten there, he would have been, who knows what happened to him. So that's what I'm saying. So mob rule, we know it serves its purpose. We can talk about the fact that yes, we see this happen, and we hear about this guy was a murderer, killed somebody, his cellmate did it, and good for him or whatever. Yes, or even the extent of the guy who cut down the statue. Good for him. But you have to basically say there are certain limits to things you should do and shouldn't do. Because again, we all want to be Batman, or if we could be Batman, we could. And again, we're doing something that's right in the moment. So in the moment, it's important. Like if you basically like I have myself stopped 7 rapes from happening. Really in true happening, and countless other women who've nearly had attacks I've stopped. So that in the moment, they're dead. In my opinion, they're dead. Just like that. The judge that got I don't know how the hell that guy jumped 6 feet and hit and attacked the judge, but the
I know,
idea
it's
that
amazing.
that would have been, no, dude, you're gone. If I had a gun or I had whatever, boom. And then I see all of these robberies that are happening now in cold plain sight. Like one lady, and I don't know, it's New York, I think, or somewhere, where she was in her car and the guys came up to her and then she decided to drive off. So they just shot her. They just shot her.
It's terrible.
And it's terrible. And in that moment, that is stand your ground. That is whole right. It's you have crossed the path. It's like the whole idea of the Equalizer movies with Denzel Washington. And the moment are you going to do the right thing or not? If you don't, then you're going to be taken down. That's the whole point. The retribution thing, or going after vengeance and doing things outside of the situation, that's the gray area. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm all about it's 2024. It's a shit show, but there is still some good out there. So that's basically it. And there is good, and we can talk about that, after you've other things. My big news, I can talk about it later. But you can talk about your thing, whatever you want to talk about next.
Okay, well, Bruce, was there anything else you wanted to bring up? Is he there?
And he's gone. He's on mute.
He's on mute. Oh, he must be doing his door or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just
I know how passionate it is to you, the idea that what's going on.
One of my big things. But the thing, what bothered me at first, when they first started releasing the stuff, everybody was saying it's his list, it's his list, it's his black book. And I was like, no, it isn't. The first thing that came out was a transcript. Totally not a list. It's not the flight logs. It's none of that stuff. It's witness testimony, basically, against Gazelle or Giselle Maxwell. Okay. And that's what I was, and they were taking the documents and they were putting them into Chat GPT and then asking questions to get from it to see whose names are on there, how many photographs they had in evidence, different things like that. They're breaking it down technically, which I thought was very smart. And it is on X and it's recorded. So other people will be able to go and listen to it, which is, I think, very good because you can pause it and look stuff up. Pause it, look stuff up, listen to it, go back and forth, which I think is really smart. Because I tell people all the time, when you're reading or researching or you watch something and you don't understand it, take notes and then look it up. Nothing is stopping you from looking things up for yourself. Because if you just believe anything anyone tells you, you're gullible. I mean, hey, I got some land to sell you in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is that, don't you think? I don't know. What do you mean they use? I don't know anything about what this Chat GPT thing. So explain that to me.
It's something called Chat GPT, and it's like a.
No, I know what it is, but what are they doing with it?
Oh, they were taking the document that was released, right? There was like 400 something pages of stuff with the transcript the first day when it was released. They were taking like sections of that when the file was downloaded and downloading it and putting it into Chat GPT and then talking to the chat thing, having it tell them how many times this person's name must come up. And when they would say, well, where's his name? And then they'd go through and they'd read the testimony back and forth.
So basically it did an analysis of the document, basically.
And I thought it was great. It was a really smart way of doing it and breaking it down for laymen like me that don't understand law speak.
But that's a danger. There's a danger there.
Well, there is if you don't research, but that's what I said. You go through, to me, what I would do is print the whole thing out, but it's 400 something pages, just that one thing.
True.
The thing is, people were putting spaces out. There was like 50 spaces that day, and they were saying client list, and it wasn't. See, I kept telling people it was not a client list.
But that's the whole idea.
To get clicked, to get people to be in your space.
Yeah, but that's my concern. My concern is that's why this AI nonsense is getting ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's basically because, again, what you're going to hear now is the client list was released, and people are going to basically be misled down this path, and that is just going to be more and more to allow you're allowing the government to then basically say we'll have to censor these things because it's misinformation. The
Mhm.
same thing happened in the 1920s. Again, it's 100 years later. It's doing it again. That's why we have the FCC laws we have today. That's why radio is censored, TV censored still. The internet is not, because this came out after. Because in the interest of policy or interest of government or whatever entity, and then and then the same thing happened in the movies. We remember when movies came out, when they first came out, then they had the Hayes laws, and then they changed it. Now we have porn and all that stuff, but then it can,
Yeah.
but again, it's a cycle. It's an 80-year cycle that people keep on repeating, and they're not learning anything new. So that's my concern, and that we're not going down the regular process, and that's why this stems back to everything. We have the document. People are going to start to analyze and start to put it out there, and like you said, say it's list, and it's not. So then someone's going to say, think about this. Just for the sake of argument, let's say that someone puts it out there, the document's being done, and it gives you false information on somebody, and that person dies. What then? That's the whole point.
It's too late then.
Yeah, but they want that to happen. They want
I
to
know.
push.
That's why I tell everyone, make sure you know what you have, read it, because if you're reading it, I think you can tell the difference between a transcript from a trial and a list of names or a flight log. You could tell the difference if you're reading it yourself.
Correct.
Not listening to someone tell you everything. That's what I try to tell people. When you have something, try to read it yourself, section by section. If you don't understand what you're reading, look up stuff that you don't understand as you're reading it. That way, when you're reading it, you're absorbing the information. You understand it. Then tomorrow, when you're at the office and someone says, "Oh, did you hear about the client list?" And you say, "Well, it wasn't a client list." And they'll say, "What do you mean?" "Well, it was a transcript of a trial." See, each time.
But
more
again,
and more people will learn.
More and more people won't learn. That's my point.
Yeah, but I can't do anything about those people. All I can do is share the information I know is
correct.
true.
Because again,
as I'm doing my part, it can't be on me. I won't feel guilty later on because I know I did the best I could.
Yeah, because
the same
thing
like
happened.
Just like you do. You try to make sure you spread the right information to the right people, and you can only tell the people that you come in contact with. Your people, you put your video out there, people click on it and they watch it, they get the information, and you did the best you could to share the right information, and hopefully they absorb it and do what they're supposed to do with it. That's all you can do, and then it's out of your hands.
True.
It's not on you anymore. But I really don't know what Bruce's plans are, but we wanted to start it a little earlier so that we could I guess get done a little earlier.
That's fine.
So, but the thing is, I want to make sure everybody goes, if you have X, and in this chat, I posted a link to the beginning, the very first video at 7. It's all about the whole thing of Comet Ping Pong. It's a real place. It's a real story. It's legitimate. Who owns those businesses and what they were using those businesses for. Okay. And the emails that were leaked of John Podesta's emails with Hillary and his brother. I can't remember what his brother's name was, but it's all in there. So if you, they're only in like 2-minute videos because I couldn't put the whole thing up. Please, if you got time, please watch those videos or look it up and try to get the whole thing that you can. I couldn't post the whole thing because, it wouldn't let me. But if I knew how to do some of this stuff, I'd put it on Rumble, but I haven't figured all that out yet. But I'm working on it. I'm doing the best I can. But at least right now, I do have somewhere where I can put this stuff and I don't get in trouble for or chastised, which is X. So even though it's not perfect, X is the best that I have right now to put what I feel is important information, factual information. A couple of times I posted a couple things and then someone came back later and said, this isn't right. This is only part of it or different things like that. And I went back and I've tried to fix it because I do the best I can to try to only put stuff out that has facts behind it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want someone to get all half cocked and hurt someone because of something I said. I don't want that on my conscience, and I hope that none of you do. So I really appreciate it if you really think about what you're reading or what you're listening to, and take a little bit of time. You know, when you're sitting on the John, everyone's got free time to look at your phone. When you're sitting on the John, perfect time for you to research something or look something up, right? It's 5 minutes. Okay. It gives you time to look something up and actually have facts to back whatever it is that you're wanting to get your point across to someone. So just do the best you can on that. Oh, it says, don't worry about community notes. Sign up to the community noter yourself. I do community notes, and I've loved it. I've loved doing it. Grumpy Old Ninja is saying something about that in the chat. I do community notes, and I like it because when it asks you to do a community, to write one, they want a link. They want a legitimate link for information to prove your point of what you're saying about whatever it is that you're writing a note on X. And you can rate notes. So when you write a note, other people rate it, and they can say whether they think it's truthful or not. And they can back it up with facts, which is another link. Or they can say that your link is wrong and why they think it's wrong. So I'm liking it. I think it's really good. I think it's really helped X to have more factual information on there instead of just saying, well, I'm a fact checker and what you're saying is bullshit. You know, that's not.
You're fake news.
Yeah, fake news, but it's not. I'm liking it because I have written community notes, and I've looked up tons of stuff to try to do. One of them was somebody posted a post and said that what's the name of the dog on that belongs on Disney, Goofy. Mm-hmm. That Goofy was not a girl dog or something like that. It wasn't a dog or whatever it was. They said it was something else. And so I had to look it up and put a link on there saying that Goofy's been a dog and what year he joined Disney and all the different stuff. And I put a little, maybe it might've been a test one to see whether or not maybe they use some of those to get the newbies to see how well they answer the questions or whatever. I don't know, but I thought it was really funny that anyone would even say that. But I looked up a link and added it on there, and I put my note on it. And then I got a little thing that popped up on my timeline that said, thanking me for, you know, writing community notes and making X better, stuff like that, which I think is great. And you're going to always have a bunch of jerks that are going to lie and put stupid shit out there. I don't know why, but those people won't last very long, because a person that writes enough things and they're stupid and they're always voted down by the other people that are writing community notes, they're going to get rid of them. So I wouldn't worry about, them not being fair, because I think they're doing it the best they can so far to try to make the posts that seem iffy, more reliable by the way that they're doing it. So is there anything else you wanted to say, Bruce?
No, I'm sorry I was gone for so long, but I had to take care of some business at the front. Brooke says hello.
In the front.
Who? Brooke? Oh, hi, Brooke. Oh, she's there. I don't know.
He's not here.
But
he's not here. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll maybe he'll come back and watch the video or something.
It'd be nice.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that happened and why I made those videos and I was able to put them on X. Makes me feel a lot better to know I have somewhere to put that stuff, because I can't do it on this platform. This platform does not agree. And
there's Minds and there's Rumble and there's Gab.
And I'm trying to learn how to use Rumble because I really do want to, but it's just taking me longer to figure things out than I thought it would be. But all I can do is just keep chugging away. I mean, I've gotten a lot farther than I ever thought I would anyways, doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm proud of myself for that. But I just want to say thank you to you guys for helping me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I think Ruben has something he said he wanted to talk to everybody about.
Well, no. Just the good stuff. Basically, I'm figuring out my next part of my journey in life, and then see what's going on here. So more news to come on that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Because I watched the video and I
Yeah, but
commented.
yeah, I know, but that's
So.
basically it. So yeah, go follow me on X for more
Yeah,
information.
please share your. Can you share your link in the chat so people can go to
Oh.
your YouTube channel? And if you haven't followed Ruben, you need to. He's got some really good, fun, factual little videos that he's been doing about his weight loss and things that he's achieved. And he's I'm really proud of him. He's done a lot in this last year.
Now I got to go through my links. Oh shoot.
Well, that's okay. And Bruce and I we're going to be playing tomorrow, right? Bruce.
We are playing tomorrow.
Okay. And what time?
Where I will try to put the horn out about noon to get everybody ready for live at 12:30. But last time we got together, everybody chewed the fat for 2 hours, and the actual game started at 4.
I know.
So I'm just giving you, I'm just going to let you know, Janet, this is not new. This is something that happens a lot at tables across America and across the world, because everybody has something to say what happened this week, or they just hate their coworker, or they can't stand Trump, or they got to talk about what's going on in the world that matters to them, or maybe some new barista showed them up and they're so upset they got to slap the counter with their purse. I don't fucking know, but this happens at every table where people just talk and they
I
talk.
want it to be that way. I like it.
I like it that way myself, because the players are getting to know each other a little better. And I don't have a whole lot of people in the groups, either one of them. It's like, shut the fuck up already. We're here to kill goblins. Tom, don't you understand that Becky has to discuss the things that made her insecure this week? Come on, let's give her 7 more minutes. Go fill your glass up and drink this Pilsner and have this blue pill while you stare at your wife's ass when she bends over. It's just organic. That's all it is.
So I put my links in the chat. I put the links in the private chat. Basically, the three major. Yeah, the 3 major ones. The first one is my weight loss quest. When I started, that was my OG channel. I started that for over 14 years ago. At the time, I was on my weight loss journey, but I didn't know what I know now. Like that I got very sick in 2016. And my story's out there, and that I have these tumors that I've been fighting off for the last year and a half. And last year I lost 250 pounds is gone. So I have 140 to go, and I want to get down to 189 and get down to a good weight, so that when I get married, I'll be a good bride, Jesus Christ, a good husband. So that's basically that's my journey.
That's a good one. You've come a long ways, and getting to go to the fellowship, gathering or whatever, and get to hang out with everybody.
Yes.
All that. I was so jealous of you getting to do that.
I want to drop 140 pounds so I can pick up a 140-pound woman.
Well, that one day you're going to get to do that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a scary part now. Now it's basically, it's going to be, if I talk about it, it'll be very awkward for one reason only.
Okay, but the thing is, you don't have to. People can go to your channel and see what you posted. I commented on it when I saw it, because you looked really excited in the picture, the little snapshot that goes across. So I was like, wow, he's got some good news. So I clicked on it because I could tell by the expression on your face,
right,
that it was going to be good. So I clicked on it, watched it, and I commented. So I just wanted you to know. But I'm really happy for you. I think it's going to be great. And I'm hoping.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still trying to be hopeful about this year coming up, that it's not going to be as bad as I'm worried it's going to be. But, everybody looks at things differently, and we just have to take it one day at a time. Hopefully we can do that. But Bruce, you want to talk about what you got coming up?
Mainly just tomorrow. We're going to be having a game starting around noontime. I'll be putting a call out about 12 to 12:15. And Sunday, we're watching Indicted, the McMartin trial. suggestion from Six Nations 31 Kings,
Yep.
movie with James Woods.
I haven't seen
And
it.
then Monday we talk about that professionally on our channels.
Yeah.
And finally, not really, no finally. Next week we'll be discussing that, and follow my friend Ruben Christopher Hayes. If you have a sacrificial wine mom friend between 30 and 40 years of age, and she is a friendly lady, and she is up to move or up to house a nice young man like Ruben, give her his contact information. Ruben is known to where he can.
He doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Never mind.
I know. Hey, are you not watching the camera?
What's going on?
Ruben's trying
No,
to
he
take
doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. What happened?
Watch my channel. Just kidding.
You need to watch his channel. He's got a video posted you need to watch.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so he
No, it's not. No.
But
Oh,
It's
the one
fine.
where you're getting married this year?
Yes.
Okay.
okay. Well,
Okay.
I just want to tell everybody thank you for coming tonight, joining us, and I hope that we didn't, make too big a scene with being angry and upset about some of this stuff that came up. But we already knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
Well,
but
the
I'm
thing
glad
is,
we did release some of
but the thing is that both of you have passion and love for humanity. That's why you are at the point where you are at now.
Yes.
It's a point of
We do.
why is it no one doing anything? And yeah, definitely, I empathize completely, and that's why I was saying when Bruce was gone, the fact that basically I saw that happening right in front of me. My God, I would definitely wood chipper to the guy immediately. But if it has happened, that's when we have to abide by the law and abide by the law itself, and as opposed to our emotions. And I've stopped attacks from happening. And I come from that perspective. And I could have done something I didn't do, but I just stopped the attack from happening. It was more important to me that it stops, and that he pays for what they did. So that's what's important.
Yeah, and that's great because not very many people can say that they stopped somebody from being assaulted. I've gotten in the middle of a couple of fights, like fist fights, and stopped people from fighting. But I've kept kids from falling out of grocery carts, a few other things, because I do pay attention to my surroundings, and I wish more people would just be more observant, when you walk into your car, or just look around your surroundings and see if somebody might be in need or whatever. You maybe reach out and stop somebody from falling down. I mean, we don't know, but people need to just start trying to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on around them, be more aware. I think that will make a big difference, because you never know, you might be the one person that can stop something bad from happening. But I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and spending your evening with us. I'll be playing our game tomorrow with Bruce on his channel live. I think I might air it on my channel too. It just depends.
You should.
But and then Sunday I'll be in Bruce's Discord. We'll watch the movie to be ready for Monday night's review. And hopefully I'll be able to dress up somehow in theme for it. Last week was a lot of fun. I would try to dress up as Pris from the movie Blade Runner. It was fun. It was a great movie. And Six Nations, I think it was Six Nations is the one that joined us, right? To tell us about the books. Yeah. So he got to come up and tell us about the book. I keep saying books, but I meant book. And the differences between the movie
There's
and
an
that.
actual set of books out there for this.
Okay, so it was fun. It was a lot. It was exciting. I love that movie. I still love that movie, and hopefully I'll like this movie because I haven't seen it, so I'll get to watch it. But I love James Woods, so I'm pretty sure I'll probably really enjoy it. But everyone's invited to Bruce's Discord if they want to watch this movie with us on Sunday night at 7.
Yep.
Okay.
Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 1900 for you DDG 14.
And I will share the link on my timeline. And if you're interested and you want to be able to come, just let me or Bruce know, and we will share the link with you so you can come to Discord and enjoy the movie with us. Why not? I mean, we sit around, and then usually after the movie, we sit around and talk about it a little bit and discuss things about it. And it's fun. It's just a fun, relaxing night. Get to hang out with your friends and watch a movie. You know, it's nice. I enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. And then Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, I don't really have any plans that I know of for sure. I can't remember. I'll have to look at my calendar. But I'm on Twitter a lot, and I love Spaces. I love to do Spaces and hang out in Spaces, especially if it's got some really good juicy stuff going on. You know, like with politics and stuff, because that's what I like. Or with you know, comic books or movies or, you know, that kind of stuff. So hope to see you guys hanging out. If you're going to be on X, I'd like to hang out with you in Spaces or whatever, or just stop in and say hi to me in my DM. I still have it open, even though I've gotten a few, you know, nut jobs in there, but I like to talk.
Janet, baby, we need to talk. We need to talk so much. Janet, I love you, baby.
No, it cracks me up so bad. But I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you want, stop in and say hi to us on Bruce's channel when we're playing our game, because we're usually there all day. So it's a lot of fun. But thank you so much, and you guys have a great evening. And hope you come back next week. We really, really enjoy it.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
God.